Hello, hello. My name is Sharp Eyes, and I'm losing my voice here.
And I am Crucifix. Welcome to hour 9 of the casting marathon.
Absolutely. We have been casting for quite a few hours now, back to back.
Back to back to back to back.
Absolutely, and there's nothing more that makes us happy than students getting better at StarCraft.
Nothing more thrilling than just everyone around us just getting to Master League. So,
Absolutely, because personally, I thrive on people getting better. It just makes me
mhm,
so.
happy. It
uh,
actually fuel people getting better at StarCraft is actually like what I live on. Like most people eat food and stuff. I don't eat food. I get my life force from people getting better at StarCraft. So that's why we coach so much.
Yeah, because honestly, if we ran out of students, like we wouldn't be alive.
Yeah, we would die. So here we are, just trying to survive like any other animal.
No, but all jokes aside, we enjoy coaching because um, we're trying to give back to the community, and
Right.
so
We love StarCraft. StarCraft's a great game, and I think it's crazy how much content, how much gameplay they're able to add to a game that, I don't know, like most games you can play for a few hours and you're done with them. But StarCraft, I feel like, I mean, there's just endless content, endless amounts of fun to be had. And so, we really enjoy it, and we want to give back to the StarCraft community.
absolutely. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get our student online. His name is RogueTwinkie,
Rogue Twinkie.
and he'll be joining us from the U.S. of A.
Awesome. So, Sharpeyes, what do you think a rogue Twinkie? I mean, is it a Twinkie that isn't going to obey the Twinkie rules? And if so, what are the Twinkie rules?
Well, number one, no going out of business.
That's true, and they broke that. Uh, number two, don't die in a nuclear holocaust. I think is probably the number two Twinkie rule. And then after that, it's just it's pretty much smooth sailing from there. You just have to be a Twinkie, and you're good to go.
Absolutely. Hello, hello. You're listening to us live.
What's up, Rogue Twinkie?
Hi.
Okay, so welcome to the casting session, coaching casting. Um, Basically, the schedule for our session will be you can choose between a replay analysis or a live coaching session. And Sharp Eyes, why don't you differentiate the two?
So, a replay analysis is where we go over your replays that you've posted on nerdupgrades.com. Or if you'd like, we can do a quote-unquote live coaching session where you get to play myself while Crucifix will coach you along. And then after that, we will go ahead and analyze that specific replay.
Um, I think I'd rather do the live coaching. I think it'd
Okay.
be yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it really helps a lot because not only is it more like fun, like we can analyze your replay better if like we've seen and experienced like your gameplay. So I think it'll be good.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay, so it looks like I've added Rogue Twinkie on StarCraft.
Oh, let me leave the party. Okay.
And I accepted it.
Right, Geo invited,
Yep.
and Crucifix will get invited as well.
Awesome.
Geo, what is your best matchup and what is your worst matchup?
Um. Uh. I'd have to say that I'm really, really bad against Zerg. Like,
Well, have fun.
really.
But I'm the same way. Like Zerg, especially for the lower league. Zerg is just hard. Like because of the way they're able to mass and the units that they have. Like it's balanced once you get to the like master grandmaster leagues. But like with the lower leagues, I feel like Zerg is really hard to deal with. And so like we should be able to like especially me as a Terran player, like I should be able to give you some good tips on how to improve.
Well, my biggest problem is I can't get myself to be ready because you know how Zerg is really good early game. I
Right.
really I find it really hard to wall off and defend by the time that they have a good enough
hmm
army to destroy me.
Right. Well, one thing is that, well, so basically, like to defend against like bailing busts and stuff like that, you really want to have that scouting information before that happens. You don't want to be surprised by like a seven roach rush, because it's really hard to defend if they're already at your base and all of a sudden you have to defend. You really want that info before it happens. Like you want to see the roaches moving out, and then you can build three more bunkers before they get to your base. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I said like in the paragraph that I left you guys. I really don't scout most of the time because
Oh,
I don't know what to look for and like what like
oh,
oh
okay. Yeah,
he's doing this.
that's all stuff we can help you with for sure. And
And
that's what we'll point out.
um the double OHHO. I think I've played another with another one of you guys. Like is that a
Oh
clan or
yeah,
something?
yeah.
I
It's
played
a.
with
Sorry, go ahead.
Zell.
Oh,
Um
Zell.
yeah. Yeah, he
Zell's
gave me
a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, I
he
think
gave me
it's.
no, you can go.
No, I was just saying like we thought the same thing. Like I even pronounced it. Like I knew it was Heartland Hitman. That's what it stands for. But like I even pronounced it. We even pronounced it Oho for a while just because of how it looked. But it's actually like the O's on each side of it is just like supposed to look cool, and then it's just HH. So it's Heartland Hitman.
Yeah, what I personally like about Oho is that they're not, super hardcore or anything. They're really casual. They'll
Yeah.
they'll they'll accept people of any league, and they're all about holding tournaments. So
Yeah, they have a lot of activity going on. Like anybody, literally anybody can like join, so it's pretty fun. Make sure you're making SCVs like
Yeah.
as often as you can.
Yeah, that's another thing. I can't really focus myself on multiple things at once. It's really tough for me.
Yeah, like one thing that can help with that is like instead of having to like move your like scroll down on your screen, click on your command center and queuing those SCVs, like having your command center on a hotkey can like make it so you can concentrate on a certain area of your screen while still being able to macro a different area.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. So like that, whenever I press one, it'll go back.
Yeah,
Is
and
that what you mean?
you can just press one and then press S, and you'll be making a you'll make an SCV.
All
You know
right.
what I mean?
So like here, well, I'm gonna make like two or three probably.
But like
Yeah.
what I usually like to like you don't what you want to be doing here is like unqueue all these SCVs like from your command center, and then make a orbital command like
Oh,
because
right.
and expand like right now.
Right now?
Like, well, I mean, you have the minerals to do so. So, I mean, that's kind of what a one barracks fast expand is. And then you can also make your supply depot because you're almost supply blocked. Like, make it at that wall on your main.
Okay, it's about time I start making that refinery.
Hmm. And then you probably want to use your mule like right now, and then either make a reactor, a tech lab, or a marine out of your barracks.
I think I'm gonna go with Tech Lab. I like to go against. I like to go with a really big just Marauders and Marauders, Marines, and Medivacs.
Hmm.
Like I don't know if that's.
It's okay, but like with versus Zerg, Banelings are so good versus that composition, because like Banelings are really hard to micro against, and they're so easy to use for a Zerg player, and so like a lot of times I'll go mech versus Zerg because Banelings aren't as effective, but it does take more minerals and stuff, so it's a little bit harder. So go ahead and just pull your Marines down to react to these Zerglings, and then continue to your mineral. You have a lot of minerals right now, so what I would recommend is you need to make 2 more barracks. You need to make a factory, and then you need to use your mules, and then you need to make more supply depots.
All right.
We require more minerals.
And then add yeah, there you go.
All right. Should like this second orbital command? Should I make it into another hotkey or just the same one?
You just add it to the same hotkey, and then that way, like you can press S twice, and you'll be making two SCVs.
Yeah.
And then this is probably a good time to research stim, and then get that second gas. Get like the second and third gas.
All right. Right. Oops.
And then make sure you're making units out of your barracks, like whenever you can. Like, don't be afraid to make more than one building at a time. So, like, go ahead and make another barracks and a factory at the same time.
All right.
We require more
if I'm telling you to do too many things at once, like, don't feel pressure to do everything. Just do whatever you'd like. I'm just here to give you general tips.
All right. Damn. All right.
Yeah, the general guideline is if you feel like you're trying to do too much, then you're playing well.
Yeah, kinda. That's actually, yeah, that's pretty true. I like how you're using your mules on your natural and not on your main. That's good. That's good. That's what you're supposed to do. Go ahead and add 2 more SCVs to your main gas. And build a factory when you have the chance.
All right. Still getting used to all the supply depots.
Right. So go ahead and use an X call down.
Next.
Right. The supply depot.
Right. Like never be afraid to use that. I would recommend go ahead and do 2 reactors on your barracks.
On both of them, right?
Yeah, and then
crap.
build a factory.
Oh, you guys are right here. Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so you already have a factory. So as soon as this factory's done, you're going to be wanting to build a starport, and then a tech lab on your factory, depending on what you want to make out of it.
All right. There's so much is going on. This is like the thing. I get like overwhelmed.
Yeah, no, like the same thing used to happen to me all the time.
I don't really know what to make with the factory. I usually just go straight prestige tanks.
Yeah, no, So yeah, just get a tech lab and make a starport. Siege tanks, like even if you can't get them in siege mode, they're still good. So
I always put them like just at the back. I don't like.
Yeah.
When
It's where you're supposed to put them. Go ahead and use. Actually, it doesn't matter. So you have a ton of minerals right now. So like, just make marines out of your barracks, like, 2 at a time, or 4 at a time, and then go ahead and queue them up, and then go ahead and make a couple more barracks.
All right. Oh, another problem is getting this all organized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely takes some getting used to. That's for sure. One thing you can do is a good tip. You can select all of your SCVs and you can press build barracks. So you select all your SCVs, you press BB, and then you click, and the closest one will build it. And then you can just unselect them. And so that way you don't have to pick one in particular. Make sure you're making Marines out of your barracks and Marauders.
Alright.
Put a reactor on your starport.
Reactor? Oh crap.
Go ahead and pull your SCVs towards your natural and pull your Marines.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm not very good at
And
this.
no, it's all good. Now just pull your SCVs back to mining, and then continue to make Marines out of your barracks. Now make a make 2 medevacs and a siege tank, and then put a tech lab on your barracks there.
Check like okay. All right.
So your Marines are almost done. I would say just go ahead and queue them up. Looks like your supply block, so use another X call down. Or 2. And continue to produce units. So go ahead and pull your SCVs towards your main, and pull your Marines.
Oh crap.
Looks like Sharp Eyes is being a big butthole right now.
Our forces are under attack.
Don't forget to use stim when you can. But don't use it right now, like, it's too late. So go ahead and pull your SCVs back towards your natural, make more, and build, let's see, do you have an engineering bay? You don't. So go ahead and build 2 engineering bays whenever you have the chance.
Alright.
And don't forget that pro production.
No idea where all my SCVs went.
Died. Well, one thing you can do, let's see, do you have any inactive ones? It's looking like you don't. So yeah, make sure you just have good pro production, or good SCV production, and make sure you're constantly making those supply depots whenever they're finished, and rally those SCVs back to you. Okay. And I think that will almost be the game.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sharp Eyes had 8 bases. Let's see.
Welp.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess we can call this a game. But yeah, so like I feel like you're just having like the same issues that every new player has. Like it gets overwhelming. Like once there's too much going on, like it gets overwhelming. Like that, like there's just like you're just not sure what to do. Like at some point, and that happens to every single player. And just the best way to work on it is to find a build order online. So I would recommend like basically a 1 barracks fast expand. And you just find the basic build order for it and then go into a custom game and practice it over and over and over and over again. Because that's what I had to do to get over like that feeling of like not knowing what to do next. And if you can get your game perfect to the 10-minute mark, one really good resource is to watch Filter SC's like his old videos, like his Wings of Liberty stuff. It still applies just as well today as it did back in Wings of Liberty. Like if you go to YouTube and you type in Filter SC and look at his old videos, and he has some new ones too. I don't know how good they are. I haven't looked at them, so I don't want to recommend something that's not good. But like if you look at his videos and copy his build orders, he even gives you like checkpoints. Like this is how many SCVs you should have by this time. This is how big your supply should be. And if you practice the build order like again and again and again until you can do it perfectly up to the 10-minute mark, you're gonna find that you're just gonna get so much better. Like because like what I noticed was that after you kind of took your expansion and you built your first barracks and stuff, like you kind of froze up a little bit. And so like doing that kind of practice will help you a lot more than just trying to wing it like in ladder is what I like one of my like biggest recommendations.
Yeah, it's because I usually like when I played against Zell, the pro, yeah, you guys know Zell. Well, like what I did was, I mainly just focused on making a ton of barracks, and that's all I did. And there were some points where like I really could have won, like if I just pushed a bit, but like
Right.
yeah, and that's when I was like more into the game. Like when I first got into the game, I was really mad, obviously, and I wanted to get good so I can beat my friends most of all. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
like I my friends aren't that good. Like I can pretty much beat them now
Right.
because I looked up some build orders, but I just kept on switching like in between other things. So like
Hmm.
yeah, I wouldn't know. And then I don't know. I just feel like I do better when I'm not like freaking out. Like oh I have to do this. Oh and I have to do this. Oh and this, but I forgot that this is
Yeah. I
going
feel
on.
like maybe I like my coaching maybe like I feel like I might have tried to like get you to do a little too much
Mm.
at once, but
That's what
so
I
I
should be doing.
yeah
That's
I
like
mean like generally what you should be doing most of the time, but so I think there are just like there's just like a few like as a Terran player, like there's just a few things in your build order that like aren't correct. Like you should never have this many minerals. Not only ever, but like especially not this early in the game. You want to be taking your gas at 13, or if you're one barracks fast expanding, you want to be taking both your gases at 5 minutes. But you never want to take your gas. You never want to be doing a one barracks never want to be doing like a one barracks fast expand and then just take your gas like whenever you feel like it, because like gas is super important, and you want to be building your factory like soon, because the sooner you can build your factory, the sooner you can build your starport, and the sooner you can build your starport, the sooner you can have medevacs, and medevacs are huge. Also, Reapers this late in the game are almost useless. Like if you sent these Reapers over to his base, they would die immediately because of like speedlings and stuff. Like after 6 minutes,
right.
Reapers don't really do anything at all because speedlings can just kill them, and they cost gas. So like Reapers are only an early game unit, and they're only good if you can micro them while macroing, and that's really hard to do. I can't even do it very well. So like I would recommend like don't build Reapers at all. Like build Marines, Marauders, Medevacs, Hellbats, tanks, Thors, and well whatever else I missed that aren't Reapers. but
Alright.
but yeah. So unless you're building Reapers very early, like go ahead and just like, because after Heart of the Swarm came out, Reapers became an early game only unit, and also like your engineering bays, you need to build those and get those upgrades out, especially because of how many minerals and gas you have. Because upgrades are one thing that a lot of players miss out on and are so vitally important.
Yeah,
So,
and
yeah, go
and
ahead.
also I think that at this level of play, I'd probably say that you're around bronze. At the bronze level, unit composition doesn't matter too much. So I would, I would say that your priority should be to saturate your main base and then saturate your natural base while pumping out just mass marines.
Yeah,
Um,
spending your minerals would get you like so much. You like just spending your minerals alone. If that's all you concentrated on was spending your minerals, like you would become like twice the player you are right now. Like just keep your minerals low, because like it's so big and it's hard to do. But if you're able to like practice until you can keep your minerals below, say, if you can keep your minerals below 700 at all times, you're gonna be like twice, 2 or 3 times better than you are right now.
yeah, and so off of two saturated bases, you usually want around 8 to 10 barracks producing marines.
Right? If you just have barracks alone, you want like, well, okay, 8 to 10 is a little much, but you want like if they're all reactored and tech labbed up, you want like 5 to 6, and then with 3 bases, you want like 10. But if you have if you have the starport and tech, if you have the starport and factory, go ahead and get like because of how hard it is to spend your minerals at first, go ahead and get like 5 barracks and a couple factories and a couple starports on 2 bases, and make sure you're just spending your minerals as much as you can.
Alright. Alright, that makes sense.
Um, but but yeah, so like it's nothing. It's not like you played. It's not like you don't even know what's going on or anything. Like you definitely like have the right idea when you're playing. It's just like it's a little slow, and it's like it and it's and you're a little like hesitant like while you play, like um you're not sure of what you want to do next, and because of that, like your opponent like a lot of times will just get farther and farther ahead. And so like getting a build order and like practicing it over and over and over again, like a basic build order, nothing that you have to follow every single time, but just something very basic like a one barracks fast expand, or a one base, like say maybe like a barracks into factory with a bunker and then an expansion. Something like that where you can feel safe, but at the same time, you're taking your expansion early enough to guarantee a good economy. So basically, you just want to look up something that you're both comfortable with and that you can practice a lot. That'll allow you to feel good about the beginning of the game, because that's the most important part of the whole game is the beginning.
I get really afraid sometimes. Well, like I don't play against very many like human opponents that aren't my friends, because I just feel like inadequate compared to like everyone else. I feel like anyone I get matched up with is just gonna be insane.
No, like that's what'll happen like at first. It always does. Like when I started playing, like I got beat. When I did my first 5 placement matches for ladder, I lost every single game, and that was against like 3 bronze people. Like it just I mean anybody who's playing against like a person will always be better than a computer. Almost always. Like the elite version is actually not that bad. They're okay. Like they're probably like silver level, I would say. But silver or gold, um like if you can like you just have to, that's the whole point of the metagame. If you can get used to that, if you can get over that ladder anxiety and just realize that your opponent is just as good, like your opponent's only as good as anyone else. Like you can be just as good as anyone, like as long as you have the proper training, you know. So and
Right.
you know scheduling coaching sessions like this and getting tips and stuff from everybody is like the first step in like being a really good StarCraft player. And so I would say some practice against a like what you can do like there's this one tool on arcade called MonkeyBot. If you just like search MonkeyBot in arcade, you'll find it, but you can just practice a build order over and over again, and then you can just type restart into the chat, and it'll restart the game if you mess up your build order, and
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
yeah, and so I'm gonna add that so back when I first started playing StarCraft, which is like 3 years ago, I focused a lot on build orders, and so I was like, yeah, I'm building these buildings, doing this and that, but what I failed to realize was build orders only carry you to about 6 to maybe 8 minutes. After that, it's all on you. So, what I'm trying to say is, you know, um, use the build order as a guide, but don't
Right.
rely on the build order. So your main priority should be keeping your minerals below 500, or at your level maybe 1,000, and that should be your number one goal. Just keeping your minerals
Hmm.
low.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly. If your build order, if something happens unexpected and your build order gets messed up, don't be like, uh-oh, like, what am I ever gonna do? I'm just gonna have to like give up. Like, basically, just start spending. Like, just like pretend you have a you pretend you're on what was that old game show in like the 90s where they did like a grocery store shopping spree or something, but they were running around with shopping carts and they were trying to just put as much stuff into their carts as possible, and they were trying to whoever could spend the more money like won. And so that's how you want to feel when you're playing StarCraft. You want to be spending as much, you want to spending every mineral that you get, unless you're specifically saving up for say an expansion or something, or like an upgrade. But like if you have those minerals, like Okay, I have a bunch of extra minerals. What am I gonna do with them? Well, like, make expansions, make gateways, make units, make way more than you think you'll ever need. Like, oh shoot, I have 10,000 mineral. I have 4,000 minerals. Like, how am I ever gonna spend 4,000 minerals? Well, I'll tell you how. You make 3 command centers and like 9 barracks and like a ton of and queue like a couple tanks and then like and just keep doing that until you're out of minerals because it's always better to be out of minerals than it is to have way too many because you'll find that even if you have way too much production, you're still going to be able to macro way better than your opponent. So if you have way too much production, you're still going to be in a better position than you are like in that last game. Supermarket sweep, yeah, supermarket sweep, called it.
Right. Um, what I wanted to, oh God, I'm just, I was listening, and then I wanted to say something, and then I completely forgot as you were,
Oh
like,
no.
you kept on going.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't feel free to interrupt me, man. I talk way too much, like way too much.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Oh, like this is gonna go on until 2 o'clock, right? Like it's gonna be this session or whatever.
Oh,
Cause
no.
like,
So pretty much,
yeah, cause
it's up to 1 hour. And right now we're at the 30-minute mark.
Right.
all right,
So, like, any
okay.
questions? Like, this is basically we're done with like the replay analysis part, and we're done with the live coaching session. So, like, right now is just basically like the discussion portion. So, like, anything you want to talk about, and then anything we want to bring up, is fair game. And then after we're done talking, like, that's like basically what decides the length of
Yeah,
the discussion.
pretty much we want to get you to a point where you feel comfortable, in that you can, and we'll pretty much wrap it up with a 6 sexy tips for better gameplay. But we pretty much just want to get you to a point where you feel comfortable to practice.
Right, and once you like feel at a point where you have some solid points that you can practice on, like you can do that and then come back and we can like do the whole thing over again and see like what kind of progress you've made, you know?
All right. So you saw how like you would tell me what to do, and then it would take me a long time to do it because I'd be like, oh God, I have to do this. Like
Yeah.
what do you think like how should I practice that? Should I just play against more like
Right.
human players
Well,
or
yeah,
like
well for one thing, you need to not be afraid of human players because they are going to beat you like a ton. But the thing is as soon as you get used to dealing with losing, the less you'll be scared by it because I mean, you know, it like when you get right down to it, like nothing actually happens when you lose besides your ladder ranking go down. And I can already tell you once you rank you're going to be a bronze player and so it's not even going to matter when you lose because you can't get demoted. So um like losing, it means absolutely nothing at all, like whatsoever. So like once you get used to losing, you'll be much less scared of it. And then once that happens, then you won't really get worried by something that comes up unexpected. And so like I would say like go ahead and start playing at least start playing the hardest possible AI and and get used to reacting to unexpected stuff because the computer is very very predictable. They do the same thing every game, no matter what difficulty. If they come to your base with a scout and they see that you have army units, they'll leave. But a human opponent, they'll come to your base, they'll see you have a marine, and then they'll kite that marine for like 45 seconds. And a lot of times that can throw your entire build order off. And so like playing against a human opponent will help you get used to the sour feeling of defeat, and it'll also help you to just like kind of gain knowledge of the game and like what an opponent can do because you'll never see a computer like proxy a planetary fortress, but you will see like you'll see some random bronze player do that, and it just like it'll help you like prepare for anything. So I would recommend it.
yeah, I just barely conquered the medium bot. Like regularly. I just recently
Yeah.
started being able to beat them like under all circumstances.
Actually, yeah, like that's not a bad idea. You don't necessarily have to play humans. I would say play AI until you can beat hard. No, sorry, play AI until you can beat hard, and then once you can beat hard in every circumstance, then start playing human, because because you're not going to find a human that's easier than hard. I don't think
Yeah, so
most
so
of the time.
so pretty much hard is the equivalent of pre-bronze, and then very hard is bronzish, and then elite
Is silverish, I would
is
say.
is silver to platinum depending on, like how good you are and what kind
Yeah.
of build the AI is following.
Yeah, they have like Elite has like platinum micro, but they have like silver. I don't know, just like they have like silver reactionary play, but they have really good micro and they have really good macro. But it's weird. It's weird. But Elite's not bad at all. Very hard is depending on what your build order is, can be hard, and then but hard like just hard. You really want to be building. You really want to be beating hard before you start playing on the ladder, just because I don't think you're gonna have very much fun like otherwise.
All right. Um, Other things like the really easy techniques that some people get, like kiting. I have a bit of trouble with doing that, and
Yeah, you don't want
drop
to be
play.
concentrating too much on micro like at all, just because like in Bronze League, if you macro better than your opponent, you'll almost always win, even if your micro is terrible.
Yeah, and that'll actually carry you all the way up to
Mm.
even Diamond League actually. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
all you really need to do is spend your minerals and make more units than your opponent.
Wow.
Trying to micro, trying to do all these tactics can work and does work sometimes, but it honestly doesn't matter how well you can micro if you're floating 4,000 minerals.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. But do you know what macro micro is, by the way?
I would be lying if I said yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm glad I asked. So macro is building buildings and building units and just basically everything that's not physically controlling your army units. So like if you're in a battle and you're fighting another army unit and you're like so if you're in a battle and you're fighting their army and you're trying to kite and you're trying to back your army up and stuff like that, that's called micro because you're doing very small movements. But macro is when you're just at your base and you're making units and you're making buildings and stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I got it.
Okay, yeah, like it's hard. It's kind of hard to explain. But you could like if you want a better explanation, like you could probably look it up on Wikipedia, like for like an in-depth and like explanation.
Also, a question about scouting. So,
Yeah,
like, when I get over there, like, what really, what's, what am I
right.
looking for? And like, if I see something, if like you see
Mhm.
this, how do I counter it? Like, how do I
So
learn how to counter and such?
so at the bronze level, you don't really need to scout too much. Honestly, at the bronze level, just figure out whether or not they're expanding. If they are expanding, then you know that they can't hit you early on.
Very soon, right?
Yeah, but if they're not expanding, then
Mhm.
expect a huge push in at around maybe anywhere from 6 to around 12 minutes.
So by expanding, I mean he means like their very first expansion, their natural expansion. So the expansion that's right next to their main base. So what you want to do is like you want to send your SCV over there after your barracks is finished building. So finish building your barracks and then send your SCV over to their base. And so say it's a Zerg player. If you see an expansion at their natural. So if you see an expansion right next to their, where their normal expansion would be, then they're playing pretty normal. That's just normal play. But if you don't see an expansion there, and your barracks is already done, you're ready to build your own, then they're doing something fishy, because like that's not something that should ever happen with any race. They should always be getting ready to expand at that point in time. And so, you just want to do that. and then kind of go into their main base, see if they have any army units. If they have a lot of if they have several army units and you don't have any, it means that they're up to something fishy as well. And anytime you see anything over in their base that'll worry you, like a bigger army than you, no expansion, anything like a void ray or anything like that, anything that you see that is very unexpected and could hurt you, is when you want to build either static defenses or bunkers, because if they're planning on doing something that you're not ready for, you want to get ready as fast as possible. So as soon as you see some air units that you didn't expect, build an engineering bay followed by while you're building marines and turrets and bunkers and whatever you need to defend.
Right. Also, all right, Thors. I used them like when I first started the game, when I started playing, but like I used them just because I figured that like, hey, this is like the last thing I can build. This is
It's gotta
it's gotta be the
hey, battle cruisers are the last thing you can build, bro.
Yeah, I know. I built my team would be like constructed of just Thors and battle cruisers. Like
that sounds like a pretty sick army. No,
Yeah.
but so Thors are mainly used to counter mutalisks, and what else are Thors used for? Sharp eyes,
They're
mostly to counter mutalisks and banelings. Kind of, they're pretty good against banelings too.
yeah, they're pretty much a very powerful marine.
Yeah, so like they take up 6 supply. They have a ton of health, but by themselves, like unless you have like 4 Thors out, they're not that good. So you're only ever going to use Thors if you go mech. So when I say go mech, I mean if your army consists of just like Hellions, tanks, Hellbats, and Thors, like that would be like a mech army.
Zell said that like that isn't really used anymore. Not like on StarCraft 2.
Well, mech isn't used a ton by pros in Heart of the Swarm, but that doesn't mean that like players of like players like you and me shouldn't be using mech, because mech is very good, like especially against Zerg. Like I mean, Sharp Eyes will tell you that it's harder to beat a mech Terran than it is a bio Terran.
Absolutely, and also one of the famous pros actually is using mech. His name is Goody. He has made mech since Wings Liberty and continues to do so.
Yeah, like the only reason pros don't use mech is because at the very highest level, bio is better. But like, that's not the case for like most of us. So yeah, don't be like put off mech because of that. You just need to make sure you have the if you have enough gas, and minerals, like build those tanks, build those Hellbats, build those Thors, build those Medivacs, because they have a lot of armor and they have a lot of DPS. They're a little immobile, but that won't matter so much while you're climbing the ladder, like in your level.
How should I use the Hellbats? Should they just go like with the rest of the army, or should like they go in the front?
Well,
or
they should go in the front.
Themselves?
They should go in the front for sure, because they don't do anything unless they're in the front. And then you can also use them with the Medivacs to drop them on your opponent. It's kind of hard, but you basically just pick them up. It's not that hard though. You just pick them up and you drop them on their army.
Oh yeah, that was a thing about the drop play. Like I always see people playing. Like I watch videos of people playing StarCraft and like tips and stuff because I want to get better at this. And like when they do the drop play, they like pick all of them up like so quick, and I have to go one by one. I don't know how they do that.
Oh, okay. So
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So basically, you box. So basically, you drag a box around the Hellbats and the dropship, or just box the entire screen if there's like chaos going on, and then simply click on the medevac with everything boxed, and then everything should be loaded up.
Yeah, so So box like the Hellbats and the medevac, or just the Hellbats, and then right click on the medevac, and then
Alright,
it'll load everything. And
alright,
if it's not happening fast enough, you can boost the medevac if you want to.
alright. That makes sense. Um,
So yeah, and then drop play in general is done like it's just like I feel like I don't want you concentrating on everything at once um just because like if you're trying to do drop play but you're not making army units and SCVs, like then your drop play is hurting you. But like if you're able to make your SCVs and your army units like well, and then you want to do drop play as well, then that's what you want. But like drop play in general, you want to be hitting them at more than one location at a time. So you drop them at their main base, and then after they pull their army units to their main, pick up and then drop them at their natural, so that they have to micro back and forth like that.
Yeah, and I have to add not many Terran players below masters can adequately macro while dropping.
Yeah,
I
I
just
suck so bad
yeah.
at it. I'm so bad at dropping. I really want to get better. It's hard though. Dropping's really hard to do correctly.
um, I think one of the last things I have to say is like the ratio of the army. So
Hmm.
like, should it be just I always well when I played against the only person I've played human player is Zell, so I'm just gonna keep on going back to him. But like
Okay.
I went like half and half. Like I hotkeyed all my barracks, and then I would click my barracks. Oh,
Hmm.
I'd select them, and then I just press A and D, A and D, and A and D until like all of it was queued. So it was just like Marines and Marauders. Like that's it,
Hmm.
and it was completely like cut in half. And
Right.
then like I would make like 2 or 3 siege tanks and
Hmm.
um like three medivacs. Like how should I like have it
Yeah.
like rationally?
So, in general, you want more Marines than Marauders, just because Marines are like they can hit.
They have higher DPS.
Well, they can hit. Yeah, they have a higher DP. Well, they can hit land and ground, right? So they're more they can do more stuff, and they're just generally faster. But at the same time, say you're playing Protoss. You don't want to worry about army composition too much, but say you're saying Protoss and they build only stalkers, then you're going to want to build more Marauders, right? Because stalkers are good against Marauders. And that's actually one thing you're going to want to learn eventually is the counters to units. Um, like right now, I'm not sure how good of a grasp you have on like units in StarCraft,
Little
but
to none.
yeah. So also like one thing that can help you is just like watching a lot of pro games. Like not that you should emulate stuff they do because a lot of times people concentrate too much on doing something specific. But the casters will say stuff that you're not going to understand at first, but if you like look it up, like or just like kind of listen, like you're going to be getting a lot more knowledge, just general knowledge of the game, and that's going to help you a lot. And also there's like iPhone apps that will tell you the counters of stuff, and just like there's so much info out there that you can just do general research into, like say Marauders, for example, counter armored units, which include stalkers and ultralisks, stuff like that. And banelings counter light units, which include marines and zealots and stuff like that. And so that's the kind of info that you want when you're playing, because you want to know what to build in response to what your opponent is building.
Right. Also, this one's really specific, but my friend would do this where like um he wouldn't even build anything for the most part until like he just upgrade void rays and he'd make void rays, and like at that point I couldn't do anything because I wasn't prepared and there's like too much. What should I do if he, because that's the only thing he ever does. He only uses void rays. So this
Early,
is expression
early. Yeah. Go ahead, Sharp Eyes. What would you recommend?
See, so mass void rays versus Terran, I would honestly say that you need some kind of mix of Vikings and Marines. Marines, because they're really high DPS, um, and void rays usually take quite a long time to kill them because void rays do a lot of damage versus armored units, but
Mm,
not so much versus light.
right.
So Marines and so basically mass Marines and Vikings, and then late game transition to Thors, and so Marines, Thors, and Vikings.
Yeah. So the way a void ray works is it kills stuff one at a time, right? Kills stuff. There's no splash damage on a void ray. It has to kill. So say you went at him with mass marine and he tried to hit you with his void ray. A void ray has to kill a marine, has to kill one marine, and then it moves on to the next marine, and moves on to the next marine, moves on to the next marine. So like marines are really good because you get a lot of bang for your buck against a void ray. And point number two is like you got to do that early pressure. Like you can't let him get mass void ray. Like you know how hard it is for a Protoss player to get like a ton of void rays out.
Very
Like
hard.
yeah, it's really hard. So like you can't just like that's kind of like you have to be hitting him before that much time. Like you got like what like you should always try to hit your opponent before the 15-minute mark, and that's being like it's being really like generous. Like you want to have some sort of engagement with your opponent with your army before the 15-minute mark so that you can tell what his army composition is and stuff. So like your friend that does that, like next time you play him, hit him at like 10 minutes and like see how much stuff he has because I guarantee you he'll have like nothing.
I did that with the Reapers. That's why I try to recreate that right now. Like I just went in and I killed all of his probes. That's what I
Right.
try to do. But like if I'm like attacking against if I'm trying to like banter other people like early game, like how much of my army should I use or like what part of my army should I
Yeah.
use?
Yeah. Like if you're poking your opponent at like 10 if you're poking your opponent at like 8 minutes, like only use like a small squad, like maybe like 2 Marauders and 3 Marines or something and a medevac. Like just a small squad. If you're coming in if you're doing like a timing attack though at like 10 minutes, use the majority and then keep just a small force at home to defend.
All right.
Sharp
Well,
Eyes, do you have anything to add?
um, nope. So it actually does look like we're almost out of time here. So let's go ahead and go to the sexy tips if our student doesn't mind.
Yeah.
Is that all good with you?
Yeah. I ran out
Okay.
of things to say.
Sounds good.
All right, Crucifix. Sexy tip number one, please.
I think number one overall tip. Spend like work on spending your minerals. That's like very very important.
Okay, mineral
Okay.
spending. So yeah, so you pretty much just want to keep it below 1,000
Hmm.
for the bronze level, and as soon as you go above 1,000, just toss down more barracks, more units, more barracks, more units. Done.
Keep making those barracks. Keep putting them on hotkeys. Make them.
All right.
Point number two. Don't don't be too worried about unit counters. Just worry about making units. So like I kind of noticed that you're like, oh well, do I use Thors or do I drop? What is my ratio? Stuff like that. Well, stuff like that is good to know, but only if you're in silver or beyond. Um, at the bronze level, you really need to focus on your mineral spending and making units first and foremost.
Hmm.
So get to silver, and then you can worry about micro and unit composition and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. Once you master, like you can overwhelm anybody. Like if you could just overwhelm his base, like no matter what army they have, like worst case scenario, you're in a base trade situation, in which case you can tie. And Terran's really good at base trading. So yeah, like if like just get a bigger army than him and go to his base and kill him, and then if he's trying to kill you at the same time, you're gonna have a better army because you're better at macro, and you'll most likely just win. So
Yeah, and with Terran, it's pretty easy, because I mean, versus cloaked units, just do a comsat scan, and then you're done.
yeah.
Um, only issue would be banelings. So versus banelings, you want to build more marauders. But other than that, I think that if you follow our advice, you would get to silver purely by making units and making marines.
Mhm.
All right.
Point number 3, I think watching some tutorial videos online would be really helpful because it's one of the things that got me from bronze to silver. I would say that, again, I would recommend Filter SC's videos. It's FILTERSC. He goes over it really simply and is really easy to follow. And again, I would recommend his early videos, and it would help. And he doesn't do build orders. He just does a general build that you can turn into anything. And so I would really recommend looking at what he has to say, following his advice, and then that'll get you to a basic point where you can expand your knowledge from there.
All right.
Point number 4, Sharp Eyes.
Point number 4. Let's see. So basically, I think that if you practice versus AI, and then practice until you manage to beat hard consistently, then try the ladder, like Crucifix said. But until you can beat hard AI on ladder, I think that it's definitely not very fun to go to matchmaking and then get crushed over and over again.
Yeah, the game isn't really that fun if you lose all the time. So I would say beat hard, beat hard, all the time, and then go to ladder.
Right.
I'd say point number 5 would be I would say SCV production. So SCVs are really important. Once it's not as important when you're not able to spend the minerals you already have. But it is still something you're gonna want to get accustomed to, because once you're able to spend your minerals, SCV production is going to be the most important thing. And then saying that, you might want to try some one base play, because it's a lot easier to spend your minerals when you only have one base than when you have two. So you might want to try doing some sort of 3 barracks early Marine Marauder push, something like that, where you can get comfortable spending your minerals on one base, and then you can, from there, it's a lot easier to spend your minerals on 2. So.
All right.
And then point number 6, Sharp Eyes.
Point number 6. Try to not be afraid to attack. So I noticed that you were kind of on the right track with those Reapers, but unfortunately Reapers are very bad at straight up attacking. So pretty much just mass Marines, or and then try to attack sometime around 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. Go in for an attack. If it works, then it's GG. If it doesn't work, pull back, mass up some more, and then hit again.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I always used to close. I always like to ask if you enjoyed today's coaching session, if you got a lot out of it, or if there's some stuff that you'd like to suggest to us. A review on nerdupgrades.com is really helpful to us, and it helps us get coachees every night. And so if you have extra time at any point, a review would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll do that after I go to sleep and stuff, because it's really late today. But
Yeah,
you guys,
go ahead.
you guys really helped me with telling me oh, okay, I need to work on this, and this is how I can work on it, instead of just
Yeah.
well, what you have to do is you just have to practice. That's what you have to do. You have to play more.
Yeah, it's always annoying when somebody tells you just to get better, because you have no idea how to do it.
Yeah,
But
I'll write the review.
yeah, just whenever you want.
Yeah, probably not tomorrow, but the day after. Yeah, but
Yeah, just whenever,
Awesome.
bro.
I
Thank you very much.
Want to do the sign off, Sharp Eyes?
Absolutely. All right. Once again, my name is Sharp Eyes,
And I'm Crucifix.
and that is
I'm Geo.
What's up, bro?
Geo. All right. And yet again, this is another successful coaching session. Um, so basically, until next time,
Keep on playing.
keep on playing.
Indeed.
Indeed. Good night.
Good night.